Hello there and welcome to Black Jackal Gaming. We're going to take a quick look at the Primaris Gladiator tank, the three different variants. We'll take a look at what they can do, the special abilities they come with, if they're worth taking, how much they're going to cost, and what the model is actually like. First up we got the Lancer, which is one of the anti-tank variants. They've got the standard profile across the range, movement 10, toughness 10, 3 up save and 12 wounds, objective control 3. This comes with 2 strength 14 -4 d6 plus 3 damage shots. That's on the laser destroyer. You got the option of taking 2 storm bolters or 2 frag storm for a little bit of chip damage. You then get 3 upgrades for the Icarus rocket pod and the Iron Hail heavy stubber. So the heavy stubber comes with rapid fire 3. It's only strength 4 AP 1, but if you get within that half range at 18 inches, you get an additional 3 shots of 6 in total. Icarus rocket pod anti-fly 2, which is always nice. D3 shots, strength 8 -1 2 damage, so not too bad at all. The ability for the Lancer is Aqualon Optics. So each time the module has selected to shoot, it can reroll 1 hit, 1 wound and 1 damage roll. So this gives the ballistic skill 3 a laser destroyer a little bit more consistency because it's already got the heavy keyword. So if you're stationary, you've got 72-inch range, 2 shots with it, and you're hitting on 2+, and you can reroll 1 of those. And then most things you're going to be wounding on 3s, potentially 2s for some of the things, and that -4 is going to really push models that don't have an invulnerability save onto 6s or no save at all. So quite a consistent anti-tank weapon there, with a little bit of chip damage you can do along the way just to clear some chaff. Comes in at 145 points, which is relatively cheap. Next up we have the Valiant, which is the other anti-tank variant. This comes in with a twin Las Talon and multi-motor. So the Las Talon gives you 2 strength 10 -3 damage 6 d6 plus 1. And with it being twin linked, you get to re-roll the wound roll. Being 36 inches, that's quite a nice distance for you to get up relatively close, especially considering you want the multi-motor going off, which is giving you an additional 2 strength 10 -4 d6 damage. And if you're within half range, which is 9 inches, you get the motor 2, so the +2 damage. Again, you get the Icarus and Iron Hail upgrades for free. The ability for this one is each time it attacks a model with the twin Las Talon, if it's the closest eligible monster or vehicle, you add 1 to the hit roll. So it doesn't have the heavy keyword, but if you are targeting the closest monster or vehicle, you are getting ballistic skill 2 on the Las Talon, which is quite nice because you've got 2 shots and then you re-roll on the wounds. Strength 10, so not quite as hard. This is more geared towards hitting your medium tanks, your medium toughness units. So you're looking at your gladiators rather than your impulses, some of the not so tough monsters, just to push through their armor. The -3 is quite nice. The -4 is very nice in the multi-motor, but you've got to be up close and personal. The damage isn't the most consistent, with both being d6, +1 for the Las Talon and +2 if you're in melter range for the multi-motor. But if you roll well, especially with an over the moment target, you're going to really be able to light up some of these targets. It comes in at 155 points, which, whilst a little bit more expensive than the Lancer, has a little bit of additional firepower, but maybe not quite consistent as the Lancer. Last but by no means least, we have the anti-infantry variant, the Reaper. Not quite as good as he was in 9th edition, because he could throw an incredible amount of firepower onto more light to medium infantry, but he's still got a decent bit of ability in here. So he comes in at 12 strength 6 damage 1 shots with his twin onslaught Gatling cannon. This does come with devastating wounds, so wounds of 6 bypass the save roll. Unless they have feel no pain, this is putting wounds directly onto the model. It's got twin links, so you get to re-roll that wound roll. It's only 24-inch damage, which isn't the best, and it doesn't have the AP, so it's going to have difficulty killing some more heavily armored, even medium armored infantry such as Space Marines. What it does have though, which is quite nice, its ability is the rotating death. So when you fire the Onslaught Gatling, if you're targeting an infantry unit, you get sustained hits 2. So for every 6 you roll, you get an additional 2 hits. Now that you've got 12 shots, you should be picking up an additional 4 hits with that. Throw an Oaths a Moment, and you're potentially getting 6 to 8 additional hits with this guy if you're targeting the right target. Again, comes with the Icarus and Iron Hail. Probably a little bit more beneficial for this guy because he is targeting the lower profile models. Now they don't come with the Storm Bolters. His is a little bit nicer. He comes with the Tempest. So the Tempest Bolter is 4 shots, rapid fire 4. So if you're within 12 inch range, you're getting 8 shots per Tempest Bolter, so 16 in total. So quite a bit of damage. -1, which I'm not entirely sure why the Bolter's got the -1 and not the Gatling Cannon, but we'll take the AP where we can. So what this guy's giving you is essentially into infantry, you're going to be having 12 shots with sustained hits 2 with the Onslaught. So you, especially if you go into Oaths a Moment, you're potentially pushing through 16, 17 hits. The Tempest at short range, you've got another 16 shots. Short range with the Iron Hail, which is 18 inches, it's quite nice. That's another 6 shots. D3 with the Icarus rocket pod, so you've got a substantial amount of shots you can put into units to just try and wipe them off the face of Earth. It comes in 155 points, which whilst isn't the cheapest for the amount of output he gives out and his toughness and wounds, isn't too bad. But it'd be nice for him to have a little bit further go up. Maybe the sustained hits not be just on the Onslaught for the entire profile. That would be quite nice, but he's not looking too bad. So that's all 3 variants. They all have a role to play. The Lance is probably the most consistent and versatile you can have, being quite quick and consistently hit things on 2s, and then having the reroll for wound and damage is going to be able to have your consistent anti-tank. The Valiant, whilst being a little bit more expensive and not quite as consistent, can, if you spike up, hit very hard. The Reaper is actually going into the likes of Guard and Guardians and your Vanguard and Rangers and the likes of those. It's going to tear them apart. So they all have their purpose. They can all be taken. They're not generally in vogue at the moment because Space Marines never seem to have their vehicles in vogue, which is a little bit on the strange side. The kit's fantastic, although a pain with all the mold lines because it's a substantial amount, but it's a one kit for all variants and all the bits and pieces come. So once you've built one, you can then magnetize it to swap out the other options. So if you only want to pick up one, you do have the ability to quickly change which variant you're using without proxying. What's also quite good is that it's the chassis for the Impulsor, so you can literally take the back part off if you magnetize it and play it as an Impulsor. It won't have all the options, such as the missile pods and the likes of them, but it will be good enough for you to play, especially in casual games, just as an Impulsor with all the options. If you're taking it to the competitive setting, you'd probably have to settle on the likes of a Shield Dome, because that's the easiest to proxy within the model. Thank you for watching the video. If you have any comments, then pop them below in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, then please hit the like button as it greatly helps the channel. Hit the subscribe button to see any future Warhammer content. Take it easy and see you next time for more grim darkness from the 41st millennium.